Hello, we are back. Loads to catch up on. Sorry, it's been a while since my last video, but busy times, but lots to talk about. Um, where to start is probably the biggest question, but I guess at the beginning is the best place. Last game I left you. The next one coming up was the Arsenal match in the league, which seems an age ago now. A lot has happened since then. But a 3-1 win, really good result in the league, keeping us kind of towards the top end of the table at the time. Obviously, again, we went 1-0 down fairly early. Robertson with an error. Lacazette sort of hidden behind him. Good finish from him. It looked like a good finish. I don't think he quite meant to lob it over Alisson. I think he kind of mishit it, but he was in the right place. He read the ball well, and yeah, Arsenal took the lead. Liverpool bounced back pretty early on. Salah went round the back, and Leno kind of pushed it out, but it kind of fell straight to Mane for a tap in at the back post to level the game. And then Trent over a great ball from the right hand side. Again, Robertson involved this time at the right end of the pitch. Got in round the back for a 2-1 lead for Liverpool. Into the second half, Lacazette had a good one-on-one chance, but Alisson, who obviously is not with us at the moment, made a really good save one-on-one. And yeah, kind of cherry on top, Jota got a really good goal to score in his Premier League debut to wrap up a 3-1 victory, which was great, and all was rosy back then. Um, Not quite so good after that. Obviously, we had Arsenal again in the exact same week. A completely different team, obviously, that we put out because it was the Carabao Cup. And unfortunately, we went out on penalties. So, again, losing to Arsenal. Obviously, losing on penalties in the Community Shield as well. And yeah, this time it was Origi and Wilson that missed the penalties. Miniman missed an absolute sitter in the game. How he didn't score, I'm still not sure. Hit the bar. And yeah, you see Wijnaldum take a penalty in the shootout, who got taken off for Brewster in the Community Shield, arguably because Brewster was meant to be a better penalty taker. So obviously Brewster comes on in the Community Shield and misses, and if Wijnaldum can score a pen like he does in the Carabao Cup, I don't really understand that decision even more. But there you go. Obviously, Community Shield would have been lovely. It wasn't to be this time. Carabao Cup. I mean, the only bad thing is that it doesn't give, the fringe players and a few of the youth players the game time that they kind of get from it and deserve from it. So obviously there was a flurry of loans and sales towards the end of the window, which I'll get onto in a bit. But yeah, that was a shame. But you can take it on the chin. Main, it's sort of about the Prem and the Champions League, isn't it? So everything else isn't, it's material, isn't it? Um, After that, yeah, we were getting on to the towards the end of the transfer window. Rhian Brewster was moved on. A massive £23 million bid from Sheffield United. We included a buyback clause just in case he turns out to be the next big thing, but a good deal, I think. I mean, he was he going to feature that much this season? Probably not. Is Origi going to play more often than him? Yes. Jota coming in as well. He can play through the middle as well, so it makes sense. 23 million. I don't think he's ever scored a Premier League goal. So again, great business from Liverpool. Similar to the Solanke sale that we did a couple of years ago to Bournemouth. Again, similar kind of level. Hadn't really broken into the first team, and we got a similar fee as well. So yeah, at the time it was looking good. And then yeah, it all kind of started to unravel from there, didn't it? Alisson got this mystery injury in training. Two come together. Klopp says one gets up, one doesn't. The one that doesn't is Ali. They reckon he dislocated his shoulder, so could be out for a couple of months. Looks like he's no closer to coming back now. So yeah, I mean, probably still another month to go. Maybe coming back in November. Who knows? But yeah, massive miss because his understudy Adrian, as we know, is not Liverpool quality, is he? I mean, he does a job. He can make a couple of decent saves, and it's all fun when we're winning. But when he's called upon, you know, he's no good with his feet. He doesn't come and claim crosses. He doesn't fill the defence with any kind of confidence, and he doesn't control his box. He doesn't sweep like Alisson does. We play such a high line that Alisson almost becomes a sweeper. But Adrian doesn't do that, and he can't do that. So we can't play in the same style that we like to play when Alisson's fit. So that kind of showed. I mean, it's not completely Adrian's fault, but yeah, Aston Villa 7, Liverpool 2. honestly, I was gobsmacked. I don't know what. Where do you even begin with a result like that? Honestly, I mean, it's disgusting. How can you be that bad? And to be, 4-1 down at half time and not change things, not, you know, being so stubborn to keep playing that high line, which clearly isn't working. And they get a fifth, they get a sixth. I mean, it all went wrong from the beginning, didn't it? Adrian mistake, passes it out to Gomez, doesn't go to Gomez. Villa square at Watkins 1-0, and quickly becomes 2. Watkins, really good play down the left, cuts inside, and I mean, to be fair, Alisson probably wouldn't have saved this one, so that was 2-0. We get back in the game, Salah with a 2-1, and then McGinn, massive deflected goal for 3-1, kind of really sets us back. But yeah, even from there, Villa had a free kick on the edge of the box, really high line from us again. They beat the high line, they cross the ball in, and Watkins is there for his hat trick. And that's 4-1 to Villa already at half time, and you're thinking, Christ, we need to get the next one, 4-2, 4-3, at least make it respectable. Can we even nick a 4-4? Would have been really dramatic, but no. Next goal is Villa again. It's Barkley. Massive deflection off Trent for 5-1. Salah again puts us at 5-2. You're thinking, okay, get the next one. Let's get out of here with a 5-3, something like that. But no, Grealish gets one, a deflection, which makes it 6-2. And yeah, it then becomes 7. Grealish gets another one. Our line is so high, it's actually in the Villa half, so they can't be offside. So Grealish is just waiting on the halfway line. As soon as the ball is played over the top, he's in. And yeah, he beats Adrian with ease. And it's 7-2, which is probably the most humiliating defeat certainly I can remember as a Liverpool fan. I mean, I've been a fan since about 96, 97. So, a good old 23 odd years or so. I mean, we've had some shockers, but 7-2 against Aston Villa. Hopefully that will never be beaten. I can't imagine it could be any worse than that. I mean, Villa were all right. They were very lucky. They had 3 massively deflected goals, which, makes it 4-2 with a bit of... We take that bit of luck away. Adrian's mistake. But, still, we deserved to lose the game. We were just shocking. I mean, Van Dijk was playing. It wasn't like we were missing, loads of players. I think Mane was missing as well through an injury, or I think it might have been COVID. But yeah, does a goalkeeper make a difference between maybe winning a game and losing 7-2? I'm not so sure. So, yeah, Adrian not the greatest, but no, the whole team was not good enough. And personally, my patience is pretty thin or completely gone with Firmino now. I mean, he's a striker. When does he plan on scoring a goal? Salah and Mane score constantly. Every week, it's one of them that score a goal. Sometimes both. Sometimes 2 goals for one of them. So, I get that Firmino's this kind of player that plays them in and, brings more to the team. But does he? Just because he doesn't score doesn't mean the rest of his game's brilliant. He lost a 50-50 kind of shoulder to shoulder with Watkins, and they scored a goal from that. He's not... I just don't know. He scored a couple of goals for Brazil in the international break, but I've not seen him have a good game for Liverpool in a while. Getting on for a year, probably longer. There's flashes here and there, but no, I don't. I think we need a better striker than Firmino. I think, he's a good player. Remember, he was on the bench and he came on for an impact sub. Trying something a bit different, yes, but clearly we need a better striker. Someone like Erling Haaland that's going to be available next year for 63 million buyout clause. Surely that's a no-brainer, is it not? I mean, he's 10 years younger than Firmino? Probably not quite, around that, 8 to 9 years younger. He's a better player already. He's a goal scorer. I think that would be a great signing. We decided not to get Werner. Okay. Other than yesterday when he's got a couple of goals for Chelsea, it's looked the right decision, hasn't it? He's not been exactly setting the world on fire, but long term he'll be a top player. So yeah, I mean, if we don't get Haaland, I'm not sure who else there is out there to put up front for us. Because Firmino's 29, he'll soon be 30, 31. You're thinking, okay, well, top strikers don't really last much longer than that, do they? So I think it's time to really look at replacing him. Which he's been there a long time. He wasn't even a Klopp signing, so he's lasted the longest out of the non-Klopp players in this Liverpool squad that Klopp took over, which this month was 5 years ago. So there's been a few kind of reminiscent videos. Obviously, we lost in a Carabao Cup final to City. We lost in the Europa League final, but yeah, it's been a slow progression, hasn't it? We won the Champions League after losing in the final the year before. We then won the Prem after having missed out by a point or so the year before. And this year you're thinking, okay, now let's kick on again. Let's retain our Premier League, or let's wrestle back our Champions League crown from Bayern. But early signs. I mean, we were very unlucky against Everton, which I'll get onto yesterday. But losing 7-2 against Aston Villa, letting in 2 goals against Everton again yesterday. I mean, the defence is not good enough, is it, at the moment? I don't know what's happened. I know Alisson's not there, but yeah, it's not looking good, is it, at the moment? I mean, for that Everton game, you had Thiago and Mane were back from their COVID, break. Henderson and Matip as well were back from other injuries. Keita was missing, but through COVID. I obviously hope he gets better soon, but he probably wouldn't have started anyway. So yeah, we had a full strength team other than the goalkeeper for the Merseyside derby. And yeah, obviously a 2-2 scoreline. Not really the end of the world, but Robertson to Mane 1-0 up after about 3 minutes, and then yeah, probably the worst thing that could possibly happen. Pickford absolutely comes out with 2 foot, kind of a scissors motion around Van Dijk. Forces him to go off, and early signs are that it could be an ACL, which could be the end of Van Dijk's season. So we've got no Alisson for the short term, and Van Dijk could be gone for the entire season. So if that is the case, then realistically, I think that's Champions League is definitely a no. Prem is going to be, tight, but you'd think that Man City will, over a season now, they've got Laporte, Ake, and Ruben Diaz at the back. They're not perfect. Neither are we. It'll be tough. It'll be tight. Van Dijk hopefully isn't his ACL, because if it's not and he's only out for a month or so, I'd be fine, and I think we could still win the league. But he's that important for us that if he is out for the season, it's such a huge blow. I think suddenly we're not favourites to win that league title anymore, because even with him, the defence has been shocking. So without him, I'm not sure if we retain it or do obviously top 4, yes, but winning the league, I'm not so sure without Van Dijk. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Keane equalised for Everton from a corner. Adrian didn't come out, stayed on his line and flapped at the header, 1-1. Salah put us 2-1 up with a really good goal, which was his 100th Liverpool goal as well, which just shows you. I mean, he's absolutely incredible, isn't he? I mean, we'll get onto him a bit more in future videos, but honestly, the most underrated player still. I mean, he's up there for me with Messi, Ronaldo at the moment. I know they're on the decline, of course. I'm not saying he's as good as they were in their prime by any shadow, but at this moment in time, he's up there with those two at the top of the game for me. Unfortunately, Calvert-Lewin equalised in red-hot form, isn't he? 2-2. And yeah, after that, we got the standard red card that we seem to get in Merseyside derbies. Richarlison on Thiago, straight red card, definite right decision. And Thiago joined Van Dijk in a hospital trip to see how badly he's injured as well. So we still await to hear that. We're 4:30 on a Sunday. Still no official confirmation of either of those injuries. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. If it wasn't so bad, I think they would have probably released it now. They're probably having further scans to see how serious it is, because it probably is. So hopefully, we hope and pray it's not the season. If it's a month or 2, or even in January, okay, it's a blow, but it's manageable. But if he was out for the season, wow. Oh dear. I mean, Thiago didn't look as bad, of course. I think he might be out for a couple of weeks, but Yeah, Van Dijk, huge blow if so. But yeah, right at the end was where all the controversy was, wasn't it? Henderson scored the winner, or it certainly looked like it. 3-2 to Liverpool, which was incredible. What a fantastic finish to a crazy game. And yeah, they have a little look at the old offside on the VAR. And apparently Mane's arm's offside, which apparently the rules change. Apparently you can now score with the sleeve of your arm. I didn't know that. I thought that was handball. But yeah, they measured it to Mane, and his arm was offside by about a quarter of a millimetre, which means he had an advantage, even though he played the ball backwards across the goal rather than forwards to set up Henderson's goal, which Pickford made a right mess of. But yeah, crazy how that's offside. It's ruined the game for me. I mean, I know from when it happens to you, of course it hurts more, and you see it happen to other teams, and you're thinking, how on earth is that offside? And I think Tottenham had one. I think Tottenham have had a couple, to be fair, but surely that's not what VAR was brought in to do. Surely VAR was brought in to fix the obvious errors that had happened. So, if the decision it was made in real time that was onside and it's not obviously wrong, i.e., if you're having to draw lines on the pitch, then it's not an obvious incorrect decision, then you stick with the original decision, in my opinion. If you look at it retrospectively and, oh yeah, look, Mane was miles offside. I don't know how they've missed that. We had one away to West Ham. Milner was played in down the line. It was miles offside. They completely missed it and the goal stood. Totally the wrong decision. Obviously, some go for you, some don't. But surely we need to get them right. You know, that was obviously wrong. Yeah, overturn it, VAR it, boom. Yep. I don't know how I missed that. Sorry, ref, as the linesman. That free kick. Let's get on with it. But if you're physically having to draw a little red line dot and trying to measure someone's foot at the back post with someone's arm at the front post, and with the naked eye you can't be sure, stick with the original decision on the pitch. Why is that a thing now? Why do we have to? How is there any advantage from Mane's arm being offside by 1 millimetre or probably less than that? Even though, if you look at the still image, it doesn't look offside. It's not offside. So, Liverpool have asked for clarification and a review into the Premier League's VAR decisions for both the Van Dijk tackle, which again was deemed offside. Obviously, if Van Dijk was onside, then it was a red card for Pickford potentially and a penalty as well. But yeah, I mean, both decisions absolutely shambolic. Really, how on earth that's happened? It was just a mental game. I mean, I'd rather have lost the match than lost Van Dijk. So it's a huge blow. As I say, we wait to see what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, not a fan of VAR at the minute. Really disappointed with how it's being used, and it's ruining the game, isn't it? Which, sticking with ruining the game as the subject, Project Big Picture, mainly led by Liverpool Man United, was touted, wasn't it, to change a bit of the game, dropping some money down to the Championship, League One, League Two, because without fans, those kind of leagues, those kind of levels do struggle for income. Without fans, Premier League teams, of course, aren't getting as much income on match days, but they're so cash rich that the income from the TV right money, the sponsorship money already, match day income is almost a bonus to them rather than a necessity. So, they were looking at payments down the league, scrapping the League Cup, knocking a couple of teams out the Premier League, and then yeah, you're thinking, oh okay, so I get it. You're moaning there's too many matches, all that sort of thing, and then you're hearing about this European Super League being mentioned, and you're thinking, well, no, that we're not getting rid of games to replace them with more lucrative ones. That's what the Champions League's for. That's why it's so special. It's so unique. It's fantastic competition. We don't need a Super League of European teams. So no, completely against Project Big Picture. However, I'm completely for, even in the playing field, you've got teams like Manchester City's C team that could win the Championship, which is wrong. So there needs to be some kind of group, some kind of decision where it's not just the big six or 9 Premier League teams making the call, making the shots for what happens next. Obviously, as I've mentioned, League One, League Two teams, their main income is match day. It's the ticket sales, it's the programme sales, it's the food at the match day sales. And that's not happening. It hasn't happened for a while, and it's not happening anytime soon. So something needs to be done. The iFollow, I think, was a fantastic idea. your tenner to watch your football league team play. All goes to the club. Brilliant. I mean, you'd be paying 20 quid just for a ticket to go and watch them. So £10 for a game. Maybe you and your brother, yourself and your dad. Something like that. You can share out the payment and watch the game. I did one Luton Watford, which was, it's the biggest game that Luton have had for a while. Obviously the result wasn't ideal. I'm from Luton myself, but yeah, a fiver just for one of those games was fine, absolutely fine, because you understand that it's for Luton Town. It makes sense. Then these iFollow games wouldn't be on TV anyway. So the fact that you're paying for something you wouldn't normally get to see. Yeah, I get that. Pay-per-view Premier League games, wow, wow. Obviously, since COVID, since the Premier League teams couldn't have fans, every single game, every match day, 10 games was shown on TV, whether that be BBC, Amazon Prime, BT, or Sky, which was great. I get it. They don't really need the income. They're already getting paid millions of pounds by BT and Sky. You're paying these massive, massive sums of money for TV subscriptions, 3 or 4 different companies to have access to all of them. And then they decide, actually, what we're going to do now is we're going to show 5 games and the other 5 are going to be on pay-per-view for £15 each. Quite incredible. So you've got Sheffield United, Fulham for 15 quid on BT Sport box office. I mean, honestly, other than the fans of those teams, even maybe the fans of those teams, who in their right mind pays £15 to watch a Premier League game that was on for free, or not for free, but as part of your subscription, on top of that, for a 90-minute game of a Premier League team? It's disgusting. I get it. It's £5 more than you'd pay for the Championship because it's a level high. I get it. But the money that these teams already get, the money that, they don't need £15 a game. It's insanity. Absolutely outrageous. For 90 minutes, I just don't know quite where to go with it. It's horrendous. And the quicker they realise their error, the better. But, it's a money game, isn't it? And, yeah, it's quite disgusting that Premier League teams are again, making money from, Sky and BT are making more money from you already on top of your subscription. As I say, Luton Town wouldn't be on BT or Sky subscriptions anyway regularly. So to watch those games, you would either have to go to the match or watch it on iFollow, and I think that's fantastic. So yeah, quite amazing. Obviously, we're against, I think, Sheffield United next, and I think that's on a pay-per-view. So yeah, I won't be paying £15. Don't worry about that. But we'll see what we can do with that one. But yeah, just to finish off, as I know we're getting on for time, a few more outgoings as the window closed. Gruitch, who couldn't find a permanent deal, ended up being loaned out to Porto, which again, pointless because he's never going to play for Liverpool's first team. Klopp's first ever signing, and yeah, I mean, he's 22, 23, and he's just being loaned out until his contract runs out and he'll be released. It's going to happen. And again, yeah, Harry Wilson, we were looking to sell him, no buyers, so loaned out again. He's 22, 23. And not only has he been loaned out, he's been loaned out to a Championship team. So he's gone one step lower than he was last year. So he's going backwards, off to Cardiff when he was on loan at Bournemouth in the Prem last year. Another player that will come back next year and will be sold possibly for less. Yeah, I mean, we were looking at 20 million for him this year. Maybe we'll be looking for 10 for him next year. And again, if there's no buyers, he'll be another one that will leave on a free transfer. Woodburn's still knocking about. He's gone out on another loan. Again, never going to make it. Herbie Kane was finally sold to Barnsley. And Elliott actually was actually loaned out, which makes perfect sense because he's only 17 and he's gone up to Blackburn, which is not too far away. And he's going to get game time in the Championship, which is superb. So that was a really good sign, a really good loan move. So I get that. I get loaning out the Elliots. Maybe Keller should go out. Obviously, maybe not with Addison injured now, but before that, Van den Berg. I know we sold Hover to Wolves as part of the Jota deal, but players that are genuinely looking at playing in the future for us, yes, get them out on loan. But players that are already past the age of breaking in that team, just get rid of them. We've got enough first team players to have a reserves of, pros, 20, 25 years old, Minamino, Origi, those kind of players. We've got midfielders coming out of our ears. We do not need young players um, around 22, 23 coming out, going out on loan, coming back, going out on loan, coming back again. It just seems silly. And I know Chelsea do it to the extreme. I think they loan out players 5, 6 years in a row. I just don't get it. They're never going to break into your team. Just sell them, especially in these times. Who needs to be paying wages for players that you just don't need? So to finish off, I managed to notice, I didn't even see it anywhere reported, but until I saw the game, sleeve sponsor is finally here. Expedia, the travel company, which looks really good because it's like a circle and it's not too different from the Premier League badge with the plane going through it. Looks really good. No mention on how much it's for yet. I've not seen it anywhere yet. Touted as, how much is it a year? Is it close to what Man United get? What will we getting compared to Western Union? All that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's good to get that on the shirt. Obviously, I've already got my one for Christmas from the missus, so that's got the Premier League gold winning badges on both sleeves, which it's not the end of the world, is it? Another Champions badge, so I'm not too bothered about that one. But yeah, just as a wrap up, obviously lots of matches spoke about there, some highs, some lows, some in betweens, and yeah, we wait to see the extent of Van Dijk's injury. Hopefully it's not as bad as we think. So I'll do another video after the next match. Take care, guys. Speak to you soon.